What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 33 of my Total Warhammer 3 modded Arkhan the Black campaign. So as we saw last time, Miragliano has fallen and Telea has finally been destroyed, opening the way to attack Skavenblight and acquire the next book of Nagash, and a really good one at that, as it increases our commandment effectiveness by 50%. Still have a couple of turns until we can get there, but well, as long as the place is undefended, depending on whether it actually goes here or not, it's looking pretty decent. I'm also curious to see whether it will try to stop Dick the Drowner here, fantastic name by the way, to defend Nuja, or will go to Skavenblight instead. We shall find out. Now this turn we have a bunch of other stuff to do, namely, I believe Arkhan is ready to attack Quixotle, or Quixotle, and he's going to go into Corrupted Dynasty stance, and he's going to move in right away. I have no idea where Tic-Tac-Toe went. Pyrrhic Victory and one of our units will be destroyed, so it looks like we will have to fight. And this one, it is a tier 4 settlement, so hardly surprising. Seheket, you are supposed to assassinate Lumpia, but you can do so next turn. And I want to do something with you guys. First of all, you're an Eternal Tomb Prince, and while Eternal is great, it's just great, I think we're going to delete you and actually mill you guys. Now that we know that Trustworthy is actually available to Tomb Princes, I think we gotta get Trustworthy Tomb Princes everywhere. And I guess we can put one in this army. Trustworthy gives physical resistance. I would have actually preferred armor for these guys, but yeah, I'm gonna go up there, and then maybe we'll get another one down for this army as well. So let's begin milling through them. We have another Wise guy and another Eternal guy, so we'll take the Eternal guy, we'll delete you, and then we'll take the Wise guy, and then we'll keep you on the field for a few turns while you give us extra canopic jars. Just 2, but better than nothing. Alrighty, and then the Necrotects, well, we'll have to mill through them once we have access to further Necrotects. And the same thing goes for the Lich Priests, though I still haven't found a trustworthy Lich Priest, so I'm not entirely sure whether we can actually get one of those. Now, we didn't do admin last episode, so we're going to build some buildings. Pools of Despair, let's get that crumbling temple up and running. And I guess we want growth here as much and as fast as possible, so let's get the lone column here as well. Black Tower of Arkhan needs to be up to a tomb city whenever, if we can manage it. Next up, I believe we can ignore that, to the Land of Assassins, or Land of the Dead rather. We are going to upgrade that statue. And, ooh, more hero capacity next turn, that's what I like to see. Otherwise, we're good there. Next up, Coast of Araby. I guess we'll build up the Ancient Burial Mound, a little bit expensive, but we are making money right now, and I believe that's all that needs to be built here for a while, so we're going to go back to worship Vasaf, at least for now. Telea, we are probably going to trade you away, frankly, so I'm not going to build anything there, or at least not at the current time. Carrick Zorn and the Lost Plateau, you're kind of in the same situation, and we're going to continue ignoring you. And we just need more public order. Alrighty, Atalan Mountains. Yeah, you're also in the same situation. And next up, Gorgazan. You know what? Let's build the iron thing there. Maybe we'll all get some use out of it rather than having it fall to whoever. Shifting Sands. No, you're looking good to me. Though Bagar, I think you don't really need the crypt barracks here anymore. Though I suppose if we move somebody back here, we could at least recruit some stuff. You know what, let's keep it here for now. And there is a possibility that we'll need King Araru to return here briefly, and he could recruit stuff while he does. Talaqua itself will probably be traded away, but maybe we'll keep it. I'm not into the idea of trying to hold on to more coastal territories, but we shall see once again. Southern Badlands, Galbaraz, you're fine as you currently are. Just keep upgrading, and hopefully we'll get you to the next tier soon, and be able to upgrade you further. Great Desert of Araby, you might get attacked next turn, which I'm very, very concerned about, but hopefully we can pull that off. Next, we have Diplomacy. Let's take a look at what those Wood Elves think of us now. Minus 0.5. How much would this cost for us? 3k, eh, Durthu? Yeah, you know what? I think we'll go for non-aggression pact with Durthu. Yeah, it's a little bit costly, but let's keep our reputation increasing. Plus, that'll increase our reputation further with the other Wood Elf factions. Talzin doesn't like the fact that we destroyed Telea. But he should like the fact that we're gonna destroy Scryer. And I imagine he doesn't like Angrand very much either. So if we join the war eventually against Angrand, that would probably be nice. And I think the rest of this can be, by and large, ignored. How much would Gridus give us for this? It's only 2.6k. Yeah, you know what, let's keep it relatively friendly with the Cult of Pleasure. How do you guys feel about us? -3, eh? Not so bad. Bleak Holds... Oh, you don't want that. At least not right now. Okay. We'll probably redeclare war on the Bleak Holds eventually. And at least when they build up an army or something like that. Next up, let's see who needs to move before Arkhan attacks. King Jokt. You are going to sail out to sea. Well, let's have you pick this up, and then maybe move down to Zandri and then get some Tomb Scorpions or something like that. I don't remember if Shipwreck is one of the ones that we can take without being in March stance or full speed stance, but we'll go close to it, and then we'll just go to it next turn. Nice. King Sanakt, you were going to go after these guys, but now they're moving away from Karag or Rud by the looks of it, so stay here and just keep an eye on things. We will be able to get those Sepulchral Stalkers in 2 turns, which is what we've been wanting. Anyway, King Araru, you are up next. You're probably going to go after Lok Mashan here, which we will do shortly. King Oyas, you are good as you are in ambush stance. Hetakor is good. You, I don't know who you are. Oh yeah, you're just supposed to keep an eye on this territory for more of these guys sailing towards us. You know what we need to do? We need to have somebody declare war on them. Are you fighting them right now? Yes, you are. Oh, they're just ignoring you. Great. Yeah, they're probably going to be ignoring everybody. Oh well, not a big deal. Let's keep going then. Inathor, yes. You need to go to Granti Mingle to make it a tier 3. Man, it's going to take you a long time to get here. Only we had some sort of Necrotech teleportation capability. And lastly, Ibiamos, you're also in a good place. I guess you could damage buildings, but why bother, right? I don't think you need anything. You can get Wound in the small case that you actually make some use out of this. Yeah, fine, let's just get Wound. Alrighty, and I believe that's it. And nothing else to do but to attack. We have both Arkhan and King Araru to have their fights, so let's start with Araru. Yes, you have both the Inscription of Repair, which is useful, and Loving Creator. Now, we don't particularly care about the spell resistance, but all of these buffs for Ushabti will come in very, very handy. Though them being able to heal up faster would also be quite nice. Maybe we'll get 1 point in this first, and then another point in these after. Oh, in fact, wait, we have lots of points to assign. I hadn't realized that. In that case, we're going to go for Loving Creator, and we're going to start buffing those Ushabti. And then we'll get the heals after this is done. I didn't think we had the points to go immediately into Strengthened Incantations, so why not take advantage of it? The rest of this stuff probably won't be of any use to this particular army, but that's fine. Tomb King Araru, you are definitely going for Animate, or Reanimate, I should say. And then we'll want Resurrect. And that's the thing we really want, because it allows you to actually heal, and we got 2 levels until we reach it, so it's certainly within the realm of possibility. Now, you could go into Corrupted Dynasties stance, which I guess was what we're going to do. And yeah, this is the remnants of that other army. It's considering it's a low casualties, I think we can auto-resolve this one. Arkhan's fight will be a lot more interesting than these guys, especially now that they no longer have the Slan, and the Coatl is already pretty much dead. Just auto-resolve it. Hopefully the damage won't be too bad. Yeah, no, it's fine. And we will... You know what? We're gonna harvest those organs. 2 more organ harvests, and we've got another army up and running. Then, you, my friend, are gonna go into March stance, and you're gonna go as close to the Deadhead Monoliths as possible, because we're going to want to try to take it away from the enemy next turn. What do they have in terms of garrison here, by the way? That's an okay garrison, but it's nothing crazy. And then the Lich Priest leveled up. I was hoping that it was once again the Necrotect, but you can have another point and replenish troops. Like so. Everybody can replenish a little bit more. Next up, I guess Arkhan is going to fight next, and he will get a cinematic battle. In terms of the points assigning, we're going to get Stone Sentinels, just so that we can get Reanimate and try to go for Resurrect. Arkhan does have a tendency to get hurt himself, so we do want him to be able to heal not only his troops, but himself as well. There's some nice troops here, and it is a settlement battle after all, so we are going to fight it cinematically. Going to have to work our way into the enemy settlement and fight the Croxies, the Reeve of Crystal, and the pile of Temple Guard and Saurus. Looks like a fun time. Here we go. Alrighty, here we go. We've arrived at Queshotel, and let's see what we can do in terms of taking it. Now, the enemy garrison is nothing crazy here, but to be fair, Arkhan's army isn't all that great at taking settlements. The problem, of course, being the fact that our ghouls are just too fragile to take settlements. Our 4 units of dire doggos are basically useless, and even the hit rate's not great unless breaking through another portion of the settlement. We more or less have to rely on the piles of infantry, which have to either climb through the or climb up the walls or break through the gate once Arkhan has made his way through. But of course we don't have a pile of monsters to Death Star through a gate either. Now we are going to start the battle off by having Casket of Souls and knock down as many of the towers as it can. It's not great at knocking down towers, but it can certainly do something. Just going to speed it up while it does its work a little bit, or until our ringers, probably our best units for clearing the walls, the Usirians, the Legion of the Netherworld, like in previous battles, are going to start their sweep of the walls. Man, they look so tiny compared to the Temple Guard here. Saurus feel like they would crush them, but of course they're ghosts, so it's, I guess, kind of difficult to crush a ghost, and on top of that we'll be buffing them and healing them as best we can. In fact, we are going to be moving our corpse cart right below them to keep them nice and healed up. They are starting to take damage though, so we do have to watch out for that, and they've only killed 2 of the Temple Guards so far. Okay, now they've killed 4, but they'll certainly rack up kills over time. In addition to that, we are still knocking those towers down while we work, but it's going to be a while for the Usirian's Legion. We just got to make sure we keep them alive up here as they fight. Hopefully we can even resurrect a few over time as we get the extra healing up and running from the Realm of Souls. Alrighty, how are they doing now? We got 8 kills and they've lost about half of the HP that they started with, but Arkhan is here and ready to buff them up, giving them an extra physical resistance, so at 125% they shouldn't be taking really any damage from the non-magical types of enemies, while we move the corpse card in, and that should accelerate their healing quite a bit. In the meantime, the gate is about halfway through or halfway done, and Arkhan has begun summoning units inside the settlement. We did send a unit of zombies up the walls, so we are now able to summon units inside, and both skeleton warriors and zombies will be here, at least in part to distract the enemies so that they don't all go up above on the walls, as we want to send more units up there. The Usirian's Legion need at least a little bit of help, and thus the Tomb Guard, Nekesh's Scorpion Legion, and I believe the Kepra Guard, she'll be moving in as well. Looks like the enemy wanted to hunt down Arkhan, those Ripperdactyls and their anti-large, trying to knock his Sky Chariot out of the sky, but alas they failed as the Kepra Guard did surround them and take their dual Kopeshes to the Winged Terrors there. Alrighty, keep working it, Usirian's Legion. They're still maintaining around half HP, and the multiple sources of heals are keeping them nice and healthy. And they've got a good 25 kills of Temple Guard now, and are now also being joined by additional units. There we are. Tomb Guard in to help on this side at least, and then on this side we have Nekesh's Scorpion Legion working together with another unit of Tomb Guard. It looks like we'll have to sweep the walls the old-fashioned way. But at least the Tomb Kings should feel right at home here. These may be step pyramids slash ziggurats, but they're still pyramids nonetheless. We are also firing at this last tower with our Casket of Souls. Do have to be a little bit careful there, as a single stray shot into our Syrian's Legion could be very ugly. Well, let's just hope it doesn't screw us over. Otherwise, Arkhan will continue to summon those zombies down there. Yes, they're not doing much, but they're tiring out all the units down there, even if they're not doing damage. Plus, every time Arkhan casts something, it heals the units that are fighting on the walls. And that's obviously a good thing as we get more and more units up there. And this is just straight up a long infantry clash, I guess. But that works just fine for me, as it is a little bit different from what we've been seeing lately. Alright, keep it up, Assyrian's Legion. Man, they are slowly gonna hack their way through these guys. And over on this side, how are we doing? Let's see, we got the Tomb Guard there, okay. Where's Nikesh's Scorpion Legion? Oh. Few of them have gotten destroyed, really not that many. Nah, everybody's more or less fine still. Once again, just gotta watch out for that Casket of Souls hurting us. Alrighty, we're getting more and more units up here now. And let's see, the Kepler Guard have begun to climb up as well, and will add their dual swords to this and increase the damage up here. Looks like without magical damage, the Assyrian's Legion were able to establish a very nice beachhead, which allowed our other Tomb Guard to climb up and start sorting away or kopeshing away at those lizards. Not much to say about this tactically, but we finally managed to break our way through the gate, which means our Hat Wraiths and the White King and the Tomb Prince are all in here now. Looks like the enemy is going to send in some Feral Cold Ones to try to charge those, but that's a bad matchup against the Hat Wraiths in particular. And now Arkhan can head directly into the city and bring a bunch of ghouls together with him as well. Would be lovely if we had more Hex Wraiths and Cairn Wraiths, but we will build them eventually. It's only a matter of time after all. Alright, stab and scythe, stab and scythe. Arkhan, float overhead and pretend like you're contributing to the fight, at least in terms of your melee damage. That said, this means Arkhan is no longer summoning zombies or skeletons down here, and also no longer healing the units up on top of the walls. But fortunately, the corpse carts do transfer their effects on top of the walls. I remember back on Warhammer 2 a long time ago, I had a defense with a bunch of Cairn Wraiths sitting on the walls of a settlement, and then just a bunch of corpse carts or mortis engines below them, keeping them at full HP while the enemy just failed repeatedly to take the walls with the high level of resistances on the Cairn Wraiths. And ever since that battle, I've been very fond of using Cairn Wraiths in a defense sort of deal. Alrighty, and they get, let's see, oh, this is a this is a Balefire, not an Unholy Lodestone, right. I've been meaning to switch you out, but at the very least, Imbuement of Fire and Magic is still good, and the Vigor Mortis is helping out as well. Yeah, I really gotta remember to change up the Corpse card. I've been meaning to do that, damn it. Especially since it's the wrong type, or, the wrong faction's Corpse card as well, I believe. Well, this is still left over from the Drakenhof Conclave, not Vlad's faction, right? Not Sylvania, I think. I'll just take a look at it after this once again. Alrighty, well, it looks like the walls have been nearly swept. The enemy is still fighting quite well on the ground here, however, as they keep sending their elites. More Feral Cold Ones. There's a Bestie with the Reviv Crystal down here as well, and the Croxagores have come down to play. But we do have our Shopti that are going to be doing work, and then the Hat Wraiths are keeping away from those units in order to fight a few units of the enemy's cav. Some cav-on-cav action here. Yeah, definitely a different sort of battle, at least in terms of having to slowly grind our way through this fight. Especially since we didn't really fight in conjunction with the summons of zombies and stuff, which we usually do, and which act as meat shields for our other units to do damage. But in this particular case, at the very least, once again, they did tire the enemy out. Well, let's see. We've got the bounce power at about 85% in our favor. Fairly long battle so far at about 10 minutes of an assault, and yeah, with basically 10 minutes straight of an assault on the walls. But the Saurus are now starting to get overrun. Even some ghouls are joining in to add their poisons to the Saurus there. The Syrian's Legion and the Kepler Guard are also finally making their way through these Temple Guards, some of which have already begun to rout, and only the Saurus warriors will be remaining here shortly. Look at the slivers of HP on these Temple Guard. Though impressive that they're still holding 8 units alive, but exactly what I would expect from Temple Guard as well. And they'll be out of there shortly, and in fact, I do believe the battle should be ours shortly. We got another Skeleton Warrior coming up from Arkhan, just gotta hold off those Kroxigors. The bestie with Reeve of Crystal is also kind of in bad shape, though I'm sure it did decent damage to our ghouls here. The Tomb King, or the Tomb Prince rather, and the White King should be able to dish out enough damage to it over time. Huh, is it out of ammunition? I noticed that the skinks on top are no longer chucking stuff. Can't select it, or maybe they're not checking stuff because it is done. And there we go. The bestie will shatter, and I think the bestie with the Reeve of Crystal will carry the rest of their army, and the entire coast will go. Beautiful. A very nice job to everybody on top of the walls, just taking those Saurus down as you go. I mean, look at, we had 4, I think 5 units in this one particular location. We can see 4, and there was a 5th before. I think it either died or escaped. So, yeah, it took them quite a while. I'm just going to speed it up while we find what other units still stays here. Oh, it's a unit of skink cohorts with javelins, which should disappear as soon as our hat rates move in. Oh, they're gonna chuck a set of javelins before they do. But the hat rates will move through them and take them down, and with that, the battle will end. Right? Game. That was supposed to be on cue. There we go. Now the battle will end. I guess I was looking around to see and make sure that there was nothing else left, or maybe waiting for one last heal to occur on somebody. A decisive victory for us, and Quashotl will fall. Alrighty, not too bad at all. It certainly took a while to clear those walls, especially since we don't have any kind of spell work in this particular army that could help out in terms of like bombardment or direct damage spells up there, but nonetheless went pretty darn well. And look at the Usirian's Legion of the Underworld, or Netherworld rather. Every single time they do so well. 44,000 damage, and nobody I think got even close to that. I guess the hat rates did somewhat get close at 31k, but yeah, nobody else was in that ballpark. Alrighty, we are going to occupy the place for ourselves. Well, not really ourselves, but temporarily we're going to occupy it. Got a free Scarecrow banner, and only 50 more Canopic jars now required to activate the next army. Granted, it'll also cost 20k, so we need to save up the money, but fortunately, money we do have. We also want to trade the Sentry Glades to you, Crocky. We gotta keep it nice and friendly with you. So we're gonna go... Ooh, trade agreement? 455, yeah, sure. And this will make us even friendlier. Alrighty, now now we can't tell what exactly we're moving up to, but I'm sure he loved the gift, and all of these former Talaqua territories can go to him. And then if he starts fighting the elves down here, then we'll give the rest of their territories to him, and then help together bring down Kairos. I also have to wonder whether Oxyotl is alive, and whether Oxyotl would hate us for having destroyed Talak or not really depends on if he's met the faction, I guess, at this time, which kind of remains to be seen. Anyway, let's see what else we have to do in this particular turn. We have nothing to build because buildings have been built. Sanoct is still waiting, and I think we actually moved everybody around, which means we're ready to end the turn, aren't we? Lovely. Alrighty, well, there are several places where there's a very distinct likelihood of us getting attacked here. I don't imagine we'll actually have time to fight a proper big battle, but nonetheless, we'll end the turn. Building upgrades, heroes not moved, outposts, etc, etc, etc. Just double checking everything that I haven't missed something, but hopefully I have not. Here we go. Alright, we're also running out of that great incantation of Xar, so we really gotta make use of it while we still have it for the not so very long time, and that we do still indeed have it. Blessed Dread are doing something, the various Skaven units are doing something. I see Montanus hasn't been taken, surprisingly. You're still alive, Silostra, but probably not for long. I foresee us keeping Noctilus alive as well as Aranessa, but yeah, the Drown are too far, and like the Barrow Legion will be dead soon, and ooh, there was a thing I wanted to do with Sylvania. Okay, we're gonna take a look at Sylvania, possibly next turn, possibly next episode, depending on what the Deserters of Katep do. They're not going to attack. Oh wow, maybe they sieged. Huh. Okay, that one's kind of surprising, actually. What the heck are they doing there, then? Sacrifice to Mathland, Carcassonne destroyed, Barrow Legion destroyed, ally loses outpost, yeah. Right of Sotek besieged Sorcerer's Islands. They sieged it. Huh, okay. I wasn't expecting that, but okay. And it looks like King Isfaf is indeed going for the Great Desert of Araby, but there's nothing we can do about it. Fregnus the Yeah, Rick, yeah, because we're going to defeat this lord. Are you kidding me, game? There should really be a limitation on quests like this. Like, that's never going to happen. We'd have to spend 20 turns just traveling there, and there's a good chance that the enemy would die by the time that we did. And oh, well, Manny's actually going for the statues of the gods rather than the Deadhead monoliths. Kind of irritating, mostly because we specifically moved back towards the Deadhead monolith so that we didn't have to go for the statues of the gods, but when we betray him, I guess we'll just take it back. It's still an inevitability and an eventuality as well. Anyway, Tic-Tac-Toe is... oh, his army is still there. Looks like he's either going to try to defend from Manny, which would be ideal, or maybe he'll move around here. I guess that will remain to be seen as well. We have Metable, who's here. Ah, don't tell me Dick the Drowner failed. But he was my favorite. Oh well. House Scurry, huh, we could sail out through Miragliano, take Tobaro, and then attack Skavenblight, though it would mean taking more damage. I'm just wondering which, you know what, let's take you. This will be an easy quest. Drakenhof Conclave, we don't actually care. Let's go Halskrin Chitzen. Okay, no. I was thinking that something might happen there, but I think we're okay. Yeah, so you can't reach Skavenblight in 2 turns. I feel like from Tobaro you can take 2. We have to move into enemy territory to reach an... ooh, look at the healing that we currently take here, though. And we wouldn't get nearly as much healing in Tobaro. We'd be able to fully heal our black coaches, which I do like. There's no way that we'd heal up nearly as much at Tobaro, and there's a decent garrison there. I'll have to think about that one. I'm not entirely sure what the best course of action is as yet, and ooh, yes, old King Jocht. And before I forget you, go here. And explore Island, we'll auto-resolve this real quick, unless the auto-resolve decides to screw us again. Nope. Okay, it kinda did still, but we are not going to take anything but harvest organs. Oh, we were already at 1600. My bad, but either way, this does mean... ooh! Oh, at the same time, we have the Prophet upgrade. Oh, very nice. The control and casualty or punishment bonuses will both be very helpful to us. Same with the campaign, movement, range, and research. This was a nice pickup at this current time. A little bit of money for Jocked and the Relic Sword that we don't really care about, but yeah, alright. You are going to move to Xandri next turn, wherein you will recruit some Scorpions. Either you or somebody else. We got one army coming up next turn, and then we do have enough money to awaken another one via the Mortuary Cult. Oh, so that's 2 armies over the next 2 turns. Fan-frickin-tastic, and I didn't mean that to sound sarcastic, it actually is fantastic. Another trustworthy Necrotect! Oh wow, everything's coming up Arkhan today. Truly the hat hath been blessed. Itabam, you are going to join... Well, let me think here. Wait. Boyas, are you trustworthy? No, you're a Scorpion Carver. Oh, right, you're gonna be temporary Scorpion Carver. Here's what we'll do. We will get Mr. Itabam here. Like so. Great Desert of Araby. We're gonna generate a temporary lord here. There's a temporary trustworthy lord. Ooh. I wouldn't want to lose said temporary trustworthy lord, so we're actually probably going to keep you, if we can keep you alive while fighting this. Do we have any regiments of renown or anything? Wait. Who can recruit stuff? Can anybody recruit stuff? Raru, you. 1 turn until another unit of kept regard. No, okay, that's about it. Oh well, let's just hope that Tutmos there can keep it together / remain alive. Also, out of curiosity, how much is Quashoto worth to you? 3 is basically worth nothing. Well, that I don't understand why. Perhaps because it's damaged, perhaps because it has no buildings. Well, we can change that, and then hopefully that'll make it a little bit more expensive. Anyway, I'm sure there's stuff to do, but I think I'm going to call the episode here. There's a bunch of good stuff that was just acquired, namely the trustworthy Necrotect and the fact that we can now awaken the next dynasty via the Mortuary Cult. In fact, we can do so right now. 20k. It's steep, it's real steep, but another army is always worth it. Alright, beautiful. And the next one's going to be 2,400. Actually, not as bad as I thought it would be. And that'll be 32. And you, Tutmos, you better survive, man. You lead this army and please survive. We're really going to need you to not die here. I don't know what's in this army, but it does have me greatly concerned. But we don't want to lose the Great Desert of Araby. And yeah, trustworthy is great. I guess you guys are immortal anyway, right? By, wait. I don't see immortality, but these guys always come back, don't they, the Tomb Kings? We can't actually lose lords, can we? I don't think so. I'm like 80% sure that we can't actually lose lords, because Tomb Kings would just be brought back into new skeletal bodies. It's just that I guess they don't have the immortal trait, but they all are immortal. Just out of curiosity, Arkhan, do you have the immortal trait? Yeah, no you don't. Okay, that's fine. They're all immortal. They're all immortal. Anyway, I'm gonna call the episode here. Next time, Arkhan will move on to Nahuantl and back upwards towards the Statues of the Gods, or possibly southward towards Zlatland, depending on what happens there. We'll take the Deadhead Monoliths with Araru, defend the Great Desert of Araby and Sorcerer's Islands, hopefully begin recruiting with Jocked, and make our way towards Skavenblight to hopefully take that and buff up our commandments, both of which would be just fantastic as well. So, lots more stuff to do. Stay tuned for more Arkhan. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.